times a day. We would expect to see smoke from the Sistine Chapel up to twice a day after the morning and evening sessions. And if there is black smoke, that means we have not yet reached the 2/3 majority needed from cardinals to elect a new pope. If we see white smoke, a new pontiff has been chosen and will shortly present himself to the crowds in St. Peter's Square. Ollie Barrett, Rome.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports, and welcome to a Thursday, the 8th day of May for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way with all of your news, weather, and sports. Anything else that might be on our minds here today. Thanks for joining us. Going to be talking about the Nebraska men's basketball team. They have landed a big post player, and I mean a big post player, a 7'1", 220-pound post player from Iceland. We'll tell you about that coming up. The Nebraska women's basketball team, they're going to be returning to the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota this year to play North Dakota State. We'll tell you about that here in the next hour or so. The Nebraska volleyball team has picked up a transfer from Baylor. The Nebraska softball team will start playing today in the Big Ten Conference Tournament in Evanston, Illinois, as they take on the Nittany Lions of Penn State. The Nebraska baseball team getting ready to close out their regular season home schedule this weekend with a 3-game series against Michigan. Postseason play begins for high school baseball teams today. Both Adams Central and Hastings High will be in action. We've got the NBA and NHL playoffs to tell you about here this morning. Plus, later on this hour, going to be sitting down with Hastings College new baseball coach Victor Rojas. And we'll be getting his thoughts on him taking over the program with the Broncos and moving from Arizona to Nebraska. Other details about that coming up this hour as well. So a full hour for a Thursday. Again, thanks for joining us as we welcome in Tyson from the Western Studios here this morning. Good morning.
And a good morning, Mike. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that conversation coming up here in about 30 minutes from now with Victor Rojas, new head baseball coach here to lead the Hastings College Broncos. And, you know, we talked about his resume throughout the course of the week since the announcement this past Saturday. But, you know, MLB bullpen catcher for the inaugural expansion team for the Florida Marlins, then a broadcasting career that included stops in Los Angeles with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, where he had his most notable career, and MLB Network analyst as well. So I mean, it was like talking with one of the guys that you watch every single night on your TV. If you're like me, the MLB Network plays kind of just on the background here at the Havronic Casa, and yeah, it was a really fun chat, and looking forward to giving fans kind of a peek of his insight. And I'm just going to warn you, if you're a baseball guy like me, some of his words that he might say today might have you ready to lace up the cleats, even if you're like me, 40, old and slow, and well past your prime. You know, I wanted to dig out the baseball jersey and find the cleats again and go swing a bat for this guy. He is a dynamic individual, really, really well spoken, and says all the right things that get your blood pumping and get the hair on the arms raised a little bit, and yeah, I mean, already looking forward to next spring. But like he said, you know, gosh, if we were talking and talking next spring, that means we'd miss a lot of Major League Baseball this year. So not quite putting the time machine on, so to speak, but he's gonna get you pumped up and ready for baseball for sure.
All right, so that'll be coming up about 7:30 here this morning. So a lot going on in the sports scene. As I mentioned, Adams Central and Hastings High both starting district play today. The Patriots going to be at home to take on Fairbury in a game that goes at 4 o'clock this afternoon. The first game will have St. Paul Palmer playing Arlington. That'll be at 1. So a little afternoon baseball today out at Duncan Field. The two winners will play for the district championship tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And the winner will move on to the state tournament next week in Omaha. Meanwhile, the road a little tougher for Hastings High. The Tigers are going to be playing on the road at Ralston. Hastings will be the number 3 seed, and the Tigers will take on Platteview tonight at 7. It's a team that they beat earlier this year by a score of 2-1. The other game has got Ralston. They're in action today, as they're also going to be in action. Who's Ralston playing? Nebraska City. Ralston and Nebraska City in the first game, and then Hastings High will play the second game. So the two winners in that district likewise will play tomorrow for the district championship and the right to move on to the state tournament. So postseason play is here.
Postseason is here in the blink of an eye. I mean, like I said, I keep thinking about the times where I'm having conversations with some of these high school baseball coaches across the state, and it just seemed like yesterday when we were talking about what kind of teams that they were going to have and what they were looking for as the season was going to move along. You flash forward just 1 month, and you're already playing postseason ball. It's a short season. And a lot of teams making the most of it, cramming games in there and playing a lot of weekends where you're picking up 3 to 4 games, and next thing you know, you've compiled 20 plus games on the schedule through the course of a month, and now the season resets and you have an opportunity to play your way into the postseason tournament. And that's the special thing about baseball is you could take a look at your resume all year long. And obviously, when you take a look at wild card points, that's certainly something that you want to try to cure. But at this point, if you're 0-0, you get a fresh start and you get a fresh opportunity. So, brand new season, postseason baseball, starting up today.
402-834-1330 is our telephone number if you'd like to join in on the discussion here today on Extreme Sports. Again, 402-834-1330. You can leave us a message on our social media sites as well. We're monitoring those comments. Love to make you part of our conversation here this morning as we get you out the door for this Thursday. A couple of notes. We mentioned this late in the show yesterday. The Dallas Cowboys search for a new number 2 wide receiver. Opposite Pro Bowler CeeDee Lamb has evidently landed with George Pickens. The Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers agreed to a trade yesterday that will send Pickens to Dallas for a 2026 third-round pick. The Cowboys will also send a 2027 fifth-round pick to the Steelers and get back a 2027 sixth-round pick. So if you can follow that, good luck. Pickens had 59 catches for 900 yards and 3 touchdowns last season. He posted at least 50 receptions, 800 yards, and 3 touchdowns in each of his 3 seasons with the Steelers. So he is moving on. He'll now play in Dallas for Jerry Jones and the gang. It'll be opposite of CeeDee Lamb. So a good receiving core shaping up now for the Cowboys.
You mentioned it, talking a little bit about the receiving core, and you kind of got a head-scratcher on Pittsburgh a little bit. We thought going into the offseason that quarterback was going to be kind of the main concern. They didn't really have a quarterback room for a good hot minute, and next thing you know that we're rolling along, and here you are trading off some of your receivers as well, and a good fantasy player production value in George Pickens is heading over to the Dallas Cowboys. So he goes from not having a team with a quarterback that can throw him the football to not having a team with a quarterback that can throw him the football at 425 on Fox. I think that's the best meme that I saw on the George Pickens stuff.
And the Steelers are still waiting around for Aaron Rodgers. Here we go again.
Is his name still being circulated?
Yeah, it's still being circulated, especially when this story came out with Pickens. Aaron Rodgers' name was brought up several times during this story that the Steelers are still waiting for Aaron Rodgers to make a decision on whether or not he's going to play or retire this year. But here we go again. We're getting into the summer months, and it's still Aaron Rodgers this, Aaron Rodgers this. He's still hanging around.
You know, I haven't seen that on my social media feeds because I silenced that algorithm a long time ago. I'm like, I'm done with Aaron Rodgers news. Very similar to yesterday, how we started off the show. Haven't really seen it because I've started to silence them.
You're done with Aaron Rodgers. You're done with Shadur Sanders.
I'm done with headlines that don't make an impact on the NFL whatsoever. When you play 17, 18 weeks in the NFL and you don't call these guys names once because one doesn't even make the practice squad and another is too old to keep going, and it's just really sad when they continue to trot him out. I stop paying attention to meaningless headlines in the NFL.
Let's see what else is going on. NASCAR notes they're going to run the championship in 2026 at Homestead Miami Speedway. They've gone to now a rotation system. Phoenix has been the site for the championship races for the past several years. Mm-hmm. They're going to be running at Phoenix again this year to decide the NASCAR championship in 2026. They're going to start this little rotation going, and Homestead Miami Speedway will be hosting the championship in 2026. They're going to return there. 2002 to 2019, Miami kind of hosted the championship, and then they kind of got switched away and moved to Phoenix, and now they're coming back at least for 2026. So they'll run all three events there. Craftsman Trucks, Xfinity, the Cup Series going to run their championships in 2026 in Miami. I thought I'd throw that in for the people that are NASCAR bound this weekend.
There you go. I always thought it was interesting, too, that you have your quote-unquote... I mean, I know that the Super Bowl officially kicks off the NASCAR season, which was always kind of back-asswards in my book, with the Daytona 500 and that kind of being the crown jewel, if you will. But I always thought it was kind of nuts. How did Phoenix get to decide the winner of this whole entire thing? Because you want drama and you want eyeballs throughout the course of the season. I get that. I understand the playoffs, if you will. I don't like it, but I understand it. But I always thought it was kind of strange that Phoenix got to just claim the spot in the title because they were the last race of the season. I felt like you should have switched that around a little bit and go to a rotating track circuit, which is apparently what they're doing. But I'd like to see it even on a bigger level, really challenge these drivers. You want to win the cup, go through a road race and win. Go to a short track, a Martinsville, a Bristol, and figure out a way to win there. Yeah, I think that the rotation is good, but how many tracks are involved in this thing? So if we're just gonna flip-flop between Homestead and Phoenix or Vegas or whatever,
I don't know.
Get me all the tracks.
Well, see, NASCAR owns 11 or 12 of the tracks that we run at during the regular season. NASCAR itself owns those tracks.
Sure.
Then they've got another group that owns a couple of them. Then the rest of them are independently owned. I would assume eventually the tracks that are owned by NASCAR, 11 or 12 tracks, would maybe get a shot at hosting the championship. I don't know that for sure, but
sure.
I would just assume by what has started out here with going back to Miami that will probably be the case someday. So
not too many places can host a championship in November, according to Lucy, who's chiming in. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, no doubt.
If you got the snow plows out before,
that's because Lucy goes to those things and she likes going down to Phoenix in November, and she'll probably go down to Miami now in November. Who knows? That's just some things that are bubbling on my little sports topic sheet here today. I do have one other thing that's non-sports related that you might get a chuckle out of.
Let's go.
A judge in Florida has denied Burger King's motion to dismiss a 2022 lawsuit. Evidently, 19 people have sued the fast food chain, claiming it misled customers by falsely advertising its Whopper and other menu items. The group argues that Burger King advertised their burgers as 30% larger with more meat than the actual burger size.
So people actually took a tape measure to this thing?
And they say that's not true.
You lied.
According to the lawsuit, the customers want money earned from the alleged false advertising and for the company to correct the deceptive behavior. Burger King so far has denied the customers' claims. But I think they're onto something here. And I don't think it's just a Burger King. It might be like McDonald's. I went in and ordered a McDonald's sandwich the other day.
Sure.
I think I ordered a Big Mac, and I got it, and I kind of looked at it, and I had the same thoughts as maybe these customers that are suing Burger King. This
Big
thing
Mac
is
wasn't
like
big enough?
No, it's shrunk. No, but my Big Mac was not as big as it used to be. I don't know if it was 30% less. Next time I'll get my tape measure out.
The meat is shrinking in the Twilight Zone.
So anyway, evidently a judge in Florida has denied Burger King's motion to dismiss this lawsuit, so it's going to continue on. They might be onto something here.
I want to sue them for post-traumatic stress disorder from their Burger King mascot that they trotted out for years after years after years, that king that made his way, that creepy, cringy commercials that he was always in. Those traumatized my football Sundays. And then also PTSD from just eating their food. I was never a Burger King fan, and I will stand idly by that here on the show. Was not my favorite fast food chain. Was not really crushed or disappointed when they left the community, and we got some wings in their place in their stead. So I'm totally cool with that. I'm not a BK fan in any way whatsoever, and I think I was turned off less by their food, more by their commercials. If you're gonna have that cringy of an advertising department, I'm not supporting your restaurant. That was straight cringe.
Did you say something?
That's what I would sue them.
Did you say something about wings?
Hit it.
Just give me some damn chicken wings, will you?
Let's go.
Oh, I'll have those this weekend.
Yeah, you're going to your favorite establishment?
Yeah, I am right across the street. I'm going to my favorite restaurants. Chicken wings. I'll take a picture and send them to you. I always do.
Yeah.
I always do when I eat those chicken wings. She'll be looking for a message from me on Saturday about.
I could hardly wait.
I'll probably get them about 11:30 if all goes well.
At night?
No, 11:30. That's
okay.
That's our lunch plans. That's our lunch plans for Saturday.
It's like if you're texting me at 11:30 at night, I'm not getting it until the following morning. So.
All right. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. A lot to get to. This is a Thursday morning. Again, if you'd like to chime in, you can. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. Or leave us a message on our social media sites. Lucy's already got it figured out. She's got Texas, Las Vegas, Richmond, Phoenix, and Miami, maybe as the possible host sites for the NASCAR Championship.
There you go. That's your rotation.
Must be places that she wants to visit.
Well, look at it. South, 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 south.
That's the way to do it.
Warm weather, warm weather, warm weather.
All right. It's 7:17 as you wake up, get going here this morning. Good morning.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Despite voter approval, Nebraska Attorney General Mike Hilgers continues to sound the offense against medical marijuana, this time taking statewide law enforcement leaders with him to a public press conference to oppose an amendment to the Nebraska Medical Cannabis Regulation Act yesterday, where Hilgers argued on the press conference that the 124-page amendment recently passed out of the committee effectively creates a recreational marijuana system under the guise of medical regulation. Law enforcement officials claim it would undermine public safety, encourage black market activity, limit local control, and shield negligent medical providers from accountability. A formal letter expressing these concerns was delivered to legislative leadership. Meanwhile, Governor Jim Pillen officially signed a bill into law yesterday, which establishes the Nebraska Department of Water, Energy, and Environment. The new agency merging the Nebraska Department of Environment and Energy and the Nebraska Department of Natural Resources. So the new DWEE, or as we'll call it for short, the DWE, will focus on managing and protecting Nebraska's water resources. Jesse Bradley will lead the agency, and Matt Manning has been named Chief Water Officer. Earlier this week, Central Community College Hastings campus held a groundbreaking ceremony for its new 42,000 square foot Automotive Careers Training Center. The modern facility will house the college's auto body and automotive technology program, replacing an outdated 80-year-old building. It'll include 5 classrooms, a welding lab, a parts and tools suite, and dedicated storage for oils and liquids. And the City of Hastings Utilities has nationally been recognized for outstanding electric reliability by the American Public Power Association, which represents over 2,000 community-owned utilities. Using data from the organization's reliability tracker and comparisons with the national benchmarks from the U.S. Energy Information Administration, Hastings stood out for its exceptional performance in minimizing outages and ensuring consistent service. 7:20. We'll swing things over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, the Nebraska men's basketball team has landed a 7-foot 1-inch, 220-pound post player from Iceland. Leo Curtis chose the Huskers over offers from Washington and Texas. He recently decommitted from Arizona State. He initially chose the Sun Devils over offers from Indiana and West Virginia. Curtis averaged 15.3 points, 8.9 rebounds, and 1.7 block shots per game for D1 Iceland in 2023-2024. The Nebraska women's basketball team will return to the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota this year to play North Dakota State. It's the first public announcement of a women's basketball game for the 2025-2026 season. The game will take place on Sunday, November 16th. It'll be the first ever regular season meeting between the two schools. Nebraska finished 21-12 last year and advanced to the NCAA tournament. North Dakota State also finished 21-12. They advanced to the grade 8 of the WNIT. The Nebraska volleyball team has picked up a 6'4" opposite side hitter from Baylor. Ali Czech has signed with the Huskers. Czech was a 2-time All-Big 12 second-team selection at Baylor. She averaged 2.44 kills per set last year while hitting .273. She totaled 80 digs and 72 blocks. The Nebraska softball team will play Penn State today in the Big Ten Conference Tournament in Evanston, Illinois. The Huskers are the number 3 seed in the tournament and will be playing their first game at this year's event. The Nittany Lions beat Iowa yesterday by a score of 6-2. First pitch is going to be at 10 this morning. In the other games yesterday, Indiana beat Washington 2-0. Michigan got by Wisconsin 3-2, and Purdue edged Northwestern 4-2. The Nebraska baseball team will close out their regular season home schedule this weekend with a 3-game series against Michigan. The Huskers are 24-25 in the season, 11-13 in the conference after Wednesday's 8-7 loss to Creighton. Friday's series opener is set for 6 o'clock. Postseason begins for high school baseball teams today. Hastings High will be the number 3 seed for the B3 district tournament in Ralston and will play Platteview at 7 o'clock tonight. The Tigers are 11-11 in the season and beat the Trojans 2-1 earlier this season. The other game today will pit Ralston up against Nebraska City. Adams Central will be the number 1 seed for the C4 district tournament out at Duncan Field. They will host Fairbury today. The ball game that gets underway at 4. The Patriots are currently 19-6 on the season. First game today at 1 will have St. Paul Palmer playing Arlington. That's a check in your sports headlines. 7:23 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Here's your Thursday forecast. Another beautiful day on tap. Light winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour, a high of 78, and plenty of sunshine. Overnight tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 48. Sunshine continues on Friday as we head into the weekend, but we warm up into the low to mid 80s, not only on Friday, but also Saturday and Sunday. We'll have a little bit of wind as well, but nothing we can't tolerate. That's a check of your forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones from Nebraska Weather TV.
Right now, we've got north winds at 6 miles per hour. Partly cloudy. It's 49 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
Get ready, race fans. Cam Raceway is teaming up with Extreme Sports for an electrifying season of high-speed, dirt-slinging, adrenaline-pumping action. Every race night, we're bringing you live video coverage straight from the track, so you won't miss a single lap, pass, or photo finish. From non-wing warriors to cage karts, flat karts, and the A-class wing beasts, we've got it all. There's nothing like the roar of the engines, the smell of burning rubber, and the rush of dirt flying action right in front of you. So get to the track and experience it live. But if you can't make it, don't sweat. Extreme Sports has you covered. Buckle up, because this season is going to be fast, fierce, and unforgettable. Make sure you like and follow Extreme Sports on Facebook to get all the latest updates, and we will see you at the track.
Mike Will, Tyson Urbanik with you on this Thursday morning. It's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. We didn't get to the playoff action. We'll sneak that in right now from last night. The NBA, the New York Knicks got by Boston 91-90. Knicks now lead the Eastern Conference semifinal series 2-0. The Western Conference semifinals now tied up at a game apiece after Golden State beat Denver last night 149-106. Tonight you get to Golden State on the road. They're playing at Minnesota. The Warriors lead that series 1-0.
There you go. And on the ice, the Toronto Maple Leafs, Craig Berube, Chief, Stanley Cup winner for the St. Louis Blues, continues to lead Toronto. They win 4-3 over the Florida Panthers in Game 2 of that series. Toronto has a 2-0 lead, but as we remember from Ottawa series, just one series ago, they had a 3-0 lead and nearly squandered that. Were able to come through, and so they've got the 2-0 lead. Elsewhere, the Dallas Stars knocked off the Winnipeg Jets 3-2 last night. The Jets have the 1-0 lead in that Western Conference series. Did want to sneak in a soccer score for you. Paris Saint-Germain winning over Arsenal 2-1 yesterday. They win on aggregate by the score of 3-1, and they will play Barcelona in the championship coming up on Memorial Day weekend. No, Inter Milan, excuse me. They beat Barcelona. So it'll be Paris and Inter for the Champions Cup, the best team in Europe. Meanwhile, on the ice tonight, it is Game 2 for the Carolina Hurricanes and the Washington Capitals. Carolina currently with the 1-0 lead. The nightcap, your 8:30 starter, Edmonton and Vegas. Edmonton with the 1-0 lead, and all games today on ESPN.
I'm happy you snuck in those soccer scores. I couldn't sleep last night.
Paris and Inter Milan for all of Europe.
Yeah, I woke up early today hoping to maybe catch that somewhere.
And it's fascinating. It's a fascinating story, actually, because Paris Saint-Germain, 2 years ago, put the all-star squad together, right? Like, they go get Mbappe, they had Messi, they had Neymar, and that entire all-star squad kind of unraveled on them a little bit. They couldn't play as a team, and then they struggled in the European leagues. They blow up the all-star squad, and lo and behold, you're in a championship. So what's that tell you? It's not always about the stars, but it's about who can play collectively as a team. PSG has been doing that, and will take on a very talented inter-squad Memorial Day weekend.
All right. That's what's going on for the 8th day of May. It's Tim Jones's birthday, by the way. See?
Woohoo!
It's a wonder he even was working today.
I was going to say, is tomorrow's weather forecast?
Yeah. I'm surprised he's really working today, but he is. So, all right. You and I had a chance to sit down with the new Hastings College baseball coach yesterday. Because of the time difference, we had to record our little conversation, but that's all right. We sat down with him yesterday. Victor Rojas took the job. Was it Monday?
Officially, it was announced Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. So we got to it by Monday, and things were rolling. So anyway, we sat down with the new head coach yesterday, Victor Rojas of Hastings College. And Huddle Up continues on this Thursday morning. Kind of a special guest, a brand new baseball coach for Hastings College, Victor Rojas. And Victor, thanks for joining us, and welcome to Huddle Up.
I appreciate you guys having me on. It's it's always great to get a chance to talk about Hastings baseball, and looking forward to getting my boots on the ground there. It comes summertime and hitting the ground running in August.
Coach, this was a splash hire, and it's just spreading like wildfire on social media. A lot of people in the Hastings community, Hastings baseball community, and the GPAC at large really excited for what you're bringing to the table here and what you can potentially do for this program. Your resume speaks for itself. You were a baseball baby, and from a player to some coaching duties, even play-by-play broadcasting, MLB Network. When they first launched, you were the first face to appear. Talk about this journey, and I think maybe the big question that a lot of people have here in the South Central Nebraska area is what drew you to Hastings College? What is special to this place, and how did this become the next step of your career?
Yeah, I mean, the journey has been unique throughout my entire career. I was always one of those a vagabond that wanted to try different things, and when I was done playing professional baseball in spring training in '95, I thought the natural progression for me was going to be to transition into the front office side of things, and I was able to do that. Whether it was in arena football or minor league baseball, working for the Florida Panthers and the like, and had a great time doing all that, but just wasn't completely fulfilled. And then decided I want to try my hand at broadcasting at 31 years of age. Got hired by the Newark Bears, an independent league team. I became their general manager and / play-by-play guy, and off and running we went. I got lucky. I did 2 years there, and then got hired by the Diamondbacks, and I ended up having this wonderful 18-year career until I stepped away in 2021. My wife had some health issues leading up to 21 that started in really pretty much in fall of 2018. And this opportunity to become the president of the Rangers AA affiliate in Frisco, Texas, came about, and I ended up stepping away from the broadcast booth so I can be home. We made our home in the Dallas area at the time, and did that for 2 seasons. Fell in love with travel ball, following my son around who was finishing up his high school career, and then I started working with ESPN doing college baseball, and that's where my love for the college game really started to kind of to percolate a little bit, and did that for a couple of years, and then last summer started having some conversations with a couple of Division I coaches with my experience, in the front office and having run a couple of minor league teams, plus the way the game is changing at the Power 4 level, and the idea of general managers running programs or helping run programs, much like they are now already in basketball and football. Baseball wasn't quite ready to take that step, at least the coaches that I'd spoken to last summer. And they suggested until the settlement is done, we'll have to table it. But I ended up sending an email to Chris Clements last summer because there was an opening. And it was weird because he immediately responded. And I thought, this is pretty cool that he wanted to have a conversation with me. I ended up going through the interview process last year, fell in love with Hastings. I was on the ground there last summer. And one thing led to another where I was ultimately offered the job. And then at the 23rd hour, ESPN offered me a full-time job. And it was one of those really difficult decisions that I had to make on that particular day. And I ended up backing out of Hastings and took the ESPN job. And literally the next morning, my good friend Tim Montez, the head coach at Ottawa University in Arizona, texted me from Alaska saying, hey, I need an assistant head coach and recruiting coordinator. Would you have any interest? And I'm like, listen, man, I just backed out of one school. I've got a commitment to ESPN, but if you want to work around that schedule and let me do games and help you coach, I'm open to it. And that's how I ended up at Ottawa. And then fast forward to, a couple weeks ago when Chris called and said, we're making a change. Would you have any interest? The conversations that I had with my family were long, but this is something that it was in my heart last year. Like when I pulled out of the job, I felt awful. It was like the worst feeling in my world, and I hated making that decision. And so when it was presented again a couple of weeks ago, it's just God working in His mysterious ways, and it was perfect timing for me to make the move, and really it gave me the opportunity to learn under a great guy in Tim Montez and really get into the nitty gritty of recruiting and the NAI side of things and coaching and the like, and it kind of prepped me. So things happen for a reason. God's plan usually unveils itself in due time, and I'm thrilled to be to leading the program.
Coach, you familiar with the Great Plains Athletic Conference and kind of familiar with some of the teams you'll be facing as the head coach of the Broncos?
Yeah, I am familiar with it. I did some homework on them last year, and then this spring we played. We meaning Ottawa, Briarcliff and Morningside. They were down in Arizona for spring break, and so we saw quite a bit of them. Down here, and it's a really good conference. Obviously, there's nothing to sneeze at. But I'm coming from a pretty good conference too. Hope's the number 3 team I think in the country. Arizona Christian's a ranked team. The Masters was pretty good. Ottawa's pretty good. So I'm tried and tested as far as gauntlets of conferences are concerned. But I can't worry about the 10 other teams that are in the conference, right? I got to take care of my team. And obviously there's a lot of work at hand, especially on the pitching side. And that's kind of what I've been doing, for the last week or thereabouts is reaching out and being on recruiting calls and trying to talk to guys to bring them in and be competitive. I have no desire to rebuild something, meaning rebuild, like tear it down to rebuild it. And hopefully in 3 or 4 years, it all blooms. I want to win immediately. And that's kind of the mindset that I've shared with the team on Monday when I met with them at school, that I'm not messing around. And if you're planning on taking the summer off, I suggest you don't. If you have problems throwing strikes, I suggest you figure it out, because come fall, if that's an issue, we're going to have problems. And so, I think I laid the groundwork down. I think I've kind of let the message speak for itself. There is an expectation, and we are going to do things the right way. We're going to play the game the right way, and we're going to play the game hard, and then let the game dictate what happens at the end, right? Because all I can control is the preparation of my players and our coaching staff. And if we prepare properly and we play the game to the best of our abilities, baseball is going to baseball. Sometimes we can do everything perfectly and it not go our way. And that's fine. I could live with that. But we will absolutely play the game the right way when we step foot on the field.
Coach Victor Rojas, the head baseball coach for Hastings College, joining us here on Huddle Up this morning as we talk about the newest hire here for the Broncos. Coach, let's talk just a little bit about the culture that you want to bring in and want to instill here on the Hastings College campus. We talked a little bit about for the GPAC and when we take a look at things historically, I mean, this is a team that has struggled over the past few years, and certainly there's got to be some frustration in that dugout and in that locker room right now. What is the coach's keys to kind of changing the culture here for the Broncos in year one?
It's funny how winning changes environments and culture, right? I mean, it's just it's like as a player, you have just a little bit of success and it breeds confidence. I think guys just in general, and talking to them on Monday. They just want to win. They're tired of all the losing. They want someone to stand up and not only know what they're talking about, but be assertive and lead them and kind of show them the way. And that's kind of been my forte. I just feel like with the experiences that I've had in life, that's why I'm up for the task. I'm willing to I overlook the record. The record is what the record is, right? I mean, whether that was coaching, whether it was lack of personnel or a combination thereof, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. And like I expressed to the guys, a couple of days ago, there's no reason to look back. As my mom said for the longest time, I mean, don't look back, not even to gain momentum to go forward. Because it's done. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just like a hitter that misses a pitch. You got to flush it and move on to the next thing. What's my plan of attack now? And that's how I look at things. And you really can't set or talk about your culture until you create the proper environment. And that's the focus for me right now is, making sure that we've got the proper resources, the proper facilities, for these guys to be able to do their job. And I think culture will ultimately spawn from that. And you got to get everybody to be rowing in the same direction. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to establish a championship culture. And it really begins with the older players that have been there, getting them to buy in, getting them to understand what it is that I want to accomplish, not just the wins and losses, but how we go about our business, how we show up to work, the work that we put in, the time we put in, how we look when we're doing our work. All of the details matter. Discipline matters. And that's exactly what I'm going to try to convey to these guys and have already started to convey to these guys, that's the expectation. You want to win. You want to be a champion. It's not about the wins and losses. It's how you go about your work. That determines, that championship mentality. And that's what I'm going to be shooting for. And, obviously the goal is to bring in talented players that help us win games on top of that. But you could have, 35, 40 dudes on a team. But if they're all just selfish guys and all worried about their own stats and not worried about their teammates or picking up guys or sucking everybody to the middle and chirping with the other team, and that's their focus, when it doesn't matter how good those 40 individuals are, you're not going to win much as a team. And that's kind of my priority one going into the fall.
Coach, you talked about the pitching staff for Hastings College. Is that the glaring weakness right now as you see it, the pitching staff that we have coming back?
Well, I mean, I don't think that's the glaring weakness. I think that has been the Achilles heel. I mean, there are a couple of arms that have been, pretty good that you can count on. The numbers don't lie. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you could look at stats all day and tell you, you could score 8 runs a game as an offensive unit, but if you're giving up 9, you're not going to win many games, right? And so that's the focus, is to make sure that we get guys that come in, fill up the strike zone. Velocity is great, but if you're spraying it all over the place, nobody cares how hard you throw ball 4. And that's the thing that I've got to make sure that I've communicated to the guys that are coming back, or at least I think are coming back. But in seeking out arms to come join me in Nebraska and join us in Nebraska, I want guys that can throw strikes. Base on balls are the death of a pitching staff, especially when you're dealing with 4-game series in conference. Because all of a sudden you're working through your bullpen, and by the time game 3 and game 4 roll around, you're toast. You're looking for a guy with a pulse and hopefully, praying that they could throw strikes. And so it's important, it's imperative that we get guys in here that are able to fill up the strike zone, work deep into games, and be smart on the pitching side of things. And, they got to be backed up by defensive guys that can catch the ball, because if you're not striking out a ton of guys, you're going to have to bank on your defense to make plays. So it is of concern to me. It is of utmost importance to me that we upgrade the pitching side. And look, collectively, we're going to upgrade as a team. And so at the end of the day, you can sign all the guys you want that fit your profile. But it really all boils down to execution, right? They got to go out and perform. And so you look for guys that have track records and or are trending in the right direction. And that's through video, that's through conversations with coaches, pitching coaches and the like. And, your gut feel that you're getting a quality kid, which is important to me. Characters, probably at the top of my list. As far as quality guys that I'm looking for on top of what they're capable of doing in uniform, that they are able to tackle not only the stuff in the clubhouse, but also academically. And that's, it's finding the right guys, and they may not be household names. They may not light up radar guns, but they're going to be dudes across the board. And I think we need to kind of shock the system a little bit in bringing in guys that value winning, dogs, as I call them, guys that care every single pitch for 27 outs and every single night. And that's kind of what we're looking for.
Head coach Victor Rojas again from the Hastings College Broncos joining us here on Huddle Up. Coach, we know you're a busy guy, and we know you got a lot of work to do as we get this underway and we get this ship off the ground, so to speak. And, you talk about guys rowing in the right direction. I think you got 2 here in the broadcast booth with you that are going to be rowing your way as well, dude. We appreciate the time and joining us here on Huddle Up this morning, and we can't wait to see you get things started.
No, I can't wait either. I wish it was. Well, I don't wish, because then you'd really be behind the 8 ball if it was already August and I just got hired. I'd be toast. But I in my mind, I'm hoping that I can get there as quickly as possible and get on the ground and start running, man. I just I really want to teach these kids what it means to be a Bronco and really start embracing the environment that we can create so that we can start hanging our hat and be proud of wearing the uniform and bringing baseball, winning baseball back to a community that's starved for it. So I love what Coach Bovee accomplished there. I grew up in Kansas. I grew up in Legion Ball. So, it's near and dear to my heart. And I know it's a great baseball community, the Tri-Cities area in general. And I'm really looking forward to getting back on the field and making everybody proud of Hastings College baseball's program. And anything I can do for you guys, please don't hesitate in reaching out.
All right, Victor Rojas again joining us here on Huddle Up. Thanks for the time, and we'll talk with you again real soon, sir.
You got it, guys.
All right, there you go. An extensive interview with Victor Rojas, the new head man at Hastings College. Boy, after listening to that interview again, you and I sat down with him yesterday. After listening to it again intently this morning, I'm ready to run through a brick wall for this guy.
Right.
Hey, that's just one of those coaches that you sit on the edge of your seat and find out what he's going to say next.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pushing all the right buttons, and now hopefully we can get something done on the baseball field, huh?
Just like you said, I mean, here's a community that you look historically. This is a baseball town here in Hastings, with some of the success that we've had at every division, whether that be Legion Ball, whether that be Little League Baseball, whether that be at the college ranks. We've had some success. We're certainly starved for that at the collegiate level. And here's a guy that you're going to bring in that you feel is just a breath of fresh air. Just the way he talks, his track record, his pedigree, and everything he says in that interview. I mean, talking about not just playing the game, but coming to the field prepared and something to show. Dressing the right way, going through pregame routine the right way, everything that you do in your daily life at college the right way. Again, as I spoke with him yesterday, I was looking for my cleats. I wanted to cleat up. I wanted to find out if I had any college eligibility. I know I don't have a lot to offer the program in terms of a bat anymore. It's probably a few ticks on the slow side. I'm a few ticks on the slow side, about 3 or 4 or 5 ticks on the slow side. But I'd get out there, and if he needed an inning, man, I'd go out there and give him one. I don't know if it'd be a good inning or not, but I would do my damnedest, because this is a guy that you want to get motivated to play for, and if he doesn't get you motivated for baseball, I don't know who will. He speaks baseball and lives, sleeps, and drinks baseball, and yeah, if you're a baseball guy, I mean those are the words that you want to hear to get you fired up and get you settled in for 27 outs, 9 innings ball.
Now we've got all summer to maybe revitalize our baseball coverage a little bit, because I think we're going to have an extended pregame and probably have an extended postgame show with this guy, aren't we?
I don't feel like you're going to be in a position where you're scratching at content, where you're scratching at time to fill for your pregame show. I think you'll be okay in that matter. And again, I think that you could take that and have probably a 3-part pregame show and 1 hour of baseball coverage before the game even starts. So yeah, we'll have to retool that in the off season. But if that's what we got to do to, like he said, everyone needs to row in the right direction. And I think everyone needs to row not just from the player standpoint and not just from those on campus. Let's take this opportunity to let the community get in the boat and row as well. You bring out community support, and you get behind these guys, and you get behind Coach Rojas, and you're putting your butts in the seats that are going to help only our facilities long run with admissions and just with overall support. This is a community call to turn this baby around, and I think we all get on board with Coach Rojas together and put this ship to shore, hopefully championship shore.
All right, 7:52. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports on a Thursday.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Our top story continues to be the saga around medical marijuana, voter approved in the last general election. However, Nebraska Attorney General Mike Hilgers brought on statewide law enforcement leaders yesterday to publicly oppose a proposed amendment to the Nebraska Medical Cannabis Regulation Act, which, with time winding down in the legislature, still needs 3 rounds of votes to pass. Hilgers argues that the 124-page amendment that was recently passed out of committee effectively creates, as he says, quote, a recreational marijuana system under the guise of medical regulation. Law enforcement officials claim it would undermine public safety, encourage black market activity, limit local control, and shield negligent medical providers from accountability. A formal letter expressing these concerns was delivered to legislative leadership. Meanwhile, Governor Jim Pillen officially signing a bill into law yesterday, establishing the Nebraska Department of Water, Energy, and Environment. The new agency merges the Department of Environment and Energy with the Nebraska Department of Natural Resources. The DWEE we can call it DWE for short if you want, will focus on managing and protecting Nebraska's water resources. Jesse Bradley leads the agency, while Matt Manning has been named Chief Water Officer. Meanwhile, earlier this week, the Central Community College Hastings campus held a groundbreaking ceremony for its new 42,000 square foot automotive careers training center. The modern facility will house the college's auto body and automotive technology programs, replacing an outdated 80-year-old building. It'll include 5 classrooms, a welding lab, a parts and tools suite, and a dedicated storage for oils and liquids. City of Hastings Utility is nationally recognized for outstanding electric reliability by the American Public Power Association, which represents over 2,000 community-owned utilities. Using data from the organization's reliability tracker, the comparisons with national benchmarks from the Department of Energy, Hastings stood out for its exceptional performance in minimizing outages and ensuring consistent service. Coming up on 5 minutes until 8 o'clock, we'll head back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's the latest in sports?
Well, the Nebraska men's basketball team has landed a 7-foot 1-inch, 220-pound post player from Iceland. Leo Curtis chose the Huskers over offers from Washington and Texas. He recently decommitted from Arizona State. He initially chose the Sun Devils over offers from Indiana and West Virginia. Curtis averaged 15.3 points, 8.9 rebounds, and 1.7 block shots per game for D1 Iceland in 2023-2024. The Nebraska women's basketball team will return to the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota this year to play North Dakota State. It's the first public announcement of a women's basketball game for the 2025-2026 season. The game will take place on Sunday, November 16th. It'll be the first ever regular season meeting between the two schools. Nebraska finished 21-12 last year and advanced to the NCAA tournament. North Dakota State also finished 21-12 and advanced to the grade 8 of the WNIT. The Nebraska volleyball team has picked up a 6'4" opposite side hitter from Baylor. Ali Czech has signed with the Huskers. Czech was a 2-time All Big 12 second-team selection at Baylor. She averaged 2.44 kills per set last year while hitting .273. She totaled 80 digs and 72 blocks. The Nebraska softball team will play Penn State today in the Big Ten Conference Tournament in Evanston, Illinois. Huskers, the number 3 seed in the tourney. The Lions, they were in action yesterday. They beat Iowa 6-2. First pitch will be at 10 this morning. The Nebraska baseball team will close out their regular season home schedule this weekend with a 3-game series against Michigan. Huskers are currently 24-25 on the season, 11-13 in the conference. After Wednesday's 8-7 loss to Creighton, Friday's series opener is set for 6 o'clock. Postseason gets underway today for high school baseball teams. Hastings High will be the number 3 seed for the B3 district tournament in Ralston and will play Platteview at 7 tonight. The Tigers are 11-11 on the season and beat the Trojans 2-1 earlier this season. The other game today will pit Ralston up against Nebraska City. Adams Central will be the number 1 seed for the C4 district tournament at Duncan Field and will host Fairbury today at 4. The Patriots are 19-6 on the season. First game will be at 1 this afternoon. That'll pit St. Paul Palmer up against Arlington. That's a check in your sports headlines coming up on 7:58 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Here's your Thursday forecast. Another beautiful day on tap. Light winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour, a high of 78, and plenty of sunshine. Overnight tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 48. Sunshine continues on Friday as we head into weekend, but we warm up into the low to mid 80s, not only on Friday, but also Saturday and Sunday. We'll have a little bit of wind as well, but nothing we can't tolerate. That's a check of your forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones from Nebraska Weather TV.
Right now, we've got north winds at 6 miles per hour. It is partly cloudy. It is 49 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Cam Raceway brings the action every Friday night with high-speed thrills and dirt-flying excitement for the whole family. From A-class and non-wing warriors to junior sprints, junior cage carts, and flat carts, there's something for every race fan to cheer for. Grandstands open at 7. Ages 13 and up are just $10, and kids 12 and under get in free. Want to be part of the action? Pit passes are just $20, with gates opening at 5:30. And mark your calendars. Saturday, May 24th is the Deb Bruntz Memorial Show, featuring $20,000 in total purse and some of the best racing you'll see all season. Cam Raceway, where the dirt flies and legends are made.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
All right, Mike Wells, Science Center of Bronick, getting you through this Thursday morning. Big weekend, Mother's Day coming up this weekend.
Thanks for the reminder.
Don't forget to get Mom something special. Anything on the agenda for Mother?
As an only child, I think gracing her with my presence on a Sunday.
Plus, it's cheap too.
Like I don't have to like fight or compare with like what brothers and sisters are getting Mom. Like I don't have to worry about any of that. I can just kind of show up and
say, "Hi, Mom. Let's spend the day together."
Show up, do some household chores. Say, "Yeah, you don't have to do that today. Kick your feet up. Watch your favorite shows.
Where are we going to eat?
Where are we going to eat?
Yeah, where are we going to eat? You're treating."
By the way, can you buy?
Yeah. I had a car malfunction earlier in the week.
Yeah, got that sorted out.
Can you buy? Run a little short this week. But happy Mother's Day. I was going to get you a card, but didn't have any money.
It's going to get cards, but man.
Do you still buy cards?
I do. But I spend way too much time in the card aisle, like trying to find the perfect card for Mother's Day.
And cards anymore are outrageous.
Price-wise?
Yeah, or do you go to like the $1.99 ones?
You know me too well.
You do. You go to the $1.99 aisle.
I find the clearance aisle. I mean, some might be written in a different language. Some might be like Japanese hieroglyphics, and I'm totally cool with that.
Cards nowadays are like $5-6.
Yeah, and I'm not like a big fan of like the audio pop-up ones. Like, just get me a card with some sweet sayings that I would have said had I been creative enough to say it. I'll sign it and call it good.
And if you can find one for 99 cents, it's in the bag.
The bonus aisle.
You might as well grab two so you have one next year. So anyway, remember Mom coming up on Sunday. You've got there's going to be a lot of graduations going on this weekend too. High school graduations,
college graduation for Friday for the Hastings campus.
Yeah,
graduating a couple students into their next steps of their career. They were
today grade day or something for you.
Today's final day. Final day, which consists of about 30 minutes of finals and then 45 minutes or more of pizza and pop.
That's what's on tap today.
I treat my students to pizza and pop after the semester because there's a after semester evaluation that they always go through with their classes. And so if you always end it with pizza and pop, the chances of you getting higher marks are skyrocketed. So I always try to treat them at the very end.
Nice job there.
Little strategy.
Nice job there. Nice strategy. We're heading to Kansas City today.
Mm-hmm. Show live from the Kansas Motor Speedway.
At least my portion tomorrow will be
from
Kansas Speedway. Taking the IT guy with us, so he gets us on the air tomorrow.
Is he going to jump on the air with you?
Yeah, he's threatening to.
Bring him on.
All he knows, all the people know him as is the IT guy. He's never made an appearance on this show.
Mm-hmm.
So he's threatening to come on the show tomorrow and join us.
I'd be down with that.
Riken is also threatening to be on the show with us tomorrow.
Make it a family affair?
Yeah, it could be a family affair in Kansas City tomorrow.
Well, hey, the more they talk, the less I have to, so I'm game with that.
I think Jim Slanker is going to join us again tomorrow from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. We're out of Fodder Park for the year, but we're moving on to Lincoln.
Lincoln, yeah.
So Jim has graciously agreed to stay on with us, at least through the Triple Crown races.
And maybe longer. I enjoy having Jim on. Brings a little validity to the show. He's the only one that has had consistently good picks. We've had good picks every now and then, but they haven't been consistent.
No, Jimmy's been pretty hot here this year. So, and you can still bet the ponies through the simulcast. So Jimmy's going to stay on. I think once it got in his blood, that we kind of launched his career. I think it's in his blood, and we might be expanding that in the future.
There's talks that'll expand in the future.
So, and then going back to Victor Rojas, it's good to get a broadcaster in a executive role.
Isn't that fun? Yeah. From the broadcast perspective, when you have a guy that kind of knows and knows what you're looking for.
Yeah. So when we need something, he's not going to just blow us off.
Yeah.
And we might be able to expand our coverage a little bit with a broadcaster in the dugout.
Dude,
I'm already thinking about some neat things that we can do to expand our coverage with a broadcaster out on the field.
I will report from the dugout if necessary.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to the next year's baseball season.
Yeah,
I really am. After listening to that interview again this morning, after you and I did it yesterday, I'm more fired up today than I was when I left the Western Studios yesterday.
Dude, my blood was pumping all day yesterday. Like I couldn't wait to. Like, the first thing I did after we wrapped up that interview was I turned on a baseball game.
Really?
And then I went and grabbed my car and grabbed a loan to get my car, which had to be done. But again, a tip of the cap to Steve and the gang over there at Conant. They took good care of it, and we're off and rolling again with a new alternator. So,
all right.
Cheers to another 80,000 miles, baby.
Yeah, at least. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. If you'd like to listen to the show again, and do encourage your friends and your family to listen to the Victor Rojas interview.
So good.
Yeah, listen to that again, and encourage everybody to do so if you want to get involved with the Hastings College baseball program. A great interview we had with Victor Rojas this morning. You can listen to it again on our social media sites, our podcast section. Just download it and listen to it at your convenience throughout the day today. And with that interview, you can listen to it 2 or 3 times, and you're set for the day.
Yeah.
You're set for the day.
Like you want morning motivation just to get up in the morning? Like, listen to Victor Rojas talking about the importance of preparation and what it means to approach the day as a dog, as he calls them. And I'm gonna look myself in the mirror and I'm gonna go, "You gonna be a dog today? You gonna be a dog today, or you gonna be a loser?"
I'm gonna do that tomorrow in Kansas City after a late night tonight.
Choice is yours. Be a dog or be a loser.
Are you a dog? You a dog today? You a dog today? Anyway, well, we'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll do this all over again at 7 o'clock. Have yourself a great day. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.